Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about what we've been drinking lately, the things that we have actually been reaching for on our personal time.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking about the bottles that we've been reaching for more often than not when we're on our personal time. You know, not filming for this channel, as it were. But before we get into that, we got to get into the first sip, which is a regular segment. I said a product. It is a product we've never tried before, but it's a segment where we try a product we've never tried before, and it's totally blind, so we don't even know what it is we're trying, but there's no familiarity, and yeah, it could be allocated, it could be available, it could be expensive, it could be inexpensive.
Who knows?
We don't know. We just let the glass tell us what's up. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Is this a rye?
It smells like it could be.
Sometimes you say when we smell a rye, you'll be like, it smells like a Kirkland's craft store. And this kind of smells like that to me.
I'm getting a lot of ethanol, so I need to get past that.
Yeah, there is a fair bit of that. Yeah.
Anything else? And right now I can't.
Yeah. There's equal parts ethanol and Kirkland's craft store, and I skipped past the ethanol because I was trying to dig below it because it is alcohol, so you're going to get that on the nose sometimes, but it's definitely there. I wouldn't call this like a super mature, well-rounded, balanced pour on the nose, at least right now.
Let's try it and see.
Let's get into the palate.
It tastes like a Kirkland's craft store. Yeah,
that's a rye. It's a good rye, though.
It is.
It's not ethanol-y on the palate.
It's way more balanced on the palate than it smelled like it was.
Yeah. It's almost creamy on the palate.
Kind of.
It's got like a really creamy, so sometimes ryes can get this nice creamy vanilla note, like an orange creamsicle type of vibe to them. This is kind of coming through with a little bit of that, and it's quite pleasant. But there's some mint, there's some spice, there's a lot of, it seems fairly complex for being what seems to be fairly low proof to me.
Maybe. It might be.
You think it's deceptive proof?
It might be a proof surprise.
The finish is really dragging out.
It's lingering.
It's got a quite nice finish to it.
I think it might be higher proof.
Yeah, but it's drinking very balanced. Like, it's wild how much ethanol was on the nose. We poured this 10 or 15 minutes prior to filming to let it have some time to open up. You would have thought the ethanol would dissipate, but that's not the fact on the nose. Like, it's still coming across pretty sharp on the nose, but on the palate, it's much more well-rounded.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed. One more sip before we give our ratings on this. Wow. I'm just so surprised by how creamy it is.
Yeah.
How long the finish lasts. Wow, that's really good. Okay. Where you at? Nose flavor experience.
I'm giving it just okay on the nose. Didn't love it. It was just okay. But I'm giving it a thumbs up on flavor and thumbs up on experience. The nose was deceptive as far as I thought I wouldn't like it, but I did like it. So it's a thumbs up.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty much in the same boat. Just okay on the nose just because of so much ethanol. What's there on the nose that's not ethanol is really good.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get past how much ethanol's on the nose.
Yeah.
On the flavors, thumbs up. I really enjoy it. On the experience, thumbs up. I'm not a rye guy. I would almost push forward into 2 thumbs up on this because the finish is so long and it's so oily and creamy.
Yeah.
If it were a little more complex as well, I'd go ahead and go 2 thumbs up. But for me, it's just thumbs up on experience. I can't wait to find out what this is. Our blind sample pool for single samples is fairly large. I don't even know what we have in there.
No.
This is very surprising.
And a lot of stuff is given to us as well, so we don't own it all.
It's not always bottles that we own, and it's hard for us to sit on bottles and not try them. So a lot of this is samples from friends or local trades or things like that. So let's find out what we've been sipping here. This is, oh wow, Blackened times Willett Rye Madeira cask finish, 109.6 proof. So
wow.
I'm going to have to fill you in on the details of this.
I feel like it drank a little hotter than 109.
I think that's spot on for what it drinks.
Wow, I disagree.
I've heard people.
I would have guessed 116.
I've heard people try this and mention like a strawberries and cream type of note. I said orange creamsicle, but I can see the strawberries and cream. So this is as far as I know, I was going to say a very limited product. This was like a one-time release product.
Oh.
It came out, it went away. Shout out to our friend, Greg Johnson, who hooked us up with the sample.
Thank you, Greg.
But I think it goes for like $130-$150 for a bottle.
My gosh.
And it's a one-time release. I don't know if they're ever going to do it again.
Okay.
Now, so Willett Rye comes across with like that little bit of grassiness to me, like the 4-year small batch. And I think that's what this is. It's just been aged in Madeira cask.
Okay.
But that Madeira cask aging brings so much more to the equation over a standard Willett 4-year small batch rye.
Yeah.
Or at least any of the ones I've tried. So I'm going to go in for another sip real quick.
Okay.
While we know what this is.
So good.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is really the most exceptional thing about this pour to me. Not necessarily the flavor profile, although it is nice with the finishing.
Yeah.
And oh, dude, I'm so stunned with the mouthfeel of this pour. So it is allocated, not even allocated. It's a one-time limited release, as far as we know. $130, $150, going for 200 plus on secondary. Where are you at on the retail side of the equation here?
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. It is good, but the lack of availability and the high price tag, thumbs down.
Now, here's the question I want to ask you. This is sitting on a shelf in front of you for $150. Are you buying it?
Maybe. So I'm gonna give it just okay.
Really?
It honestly depends on my mood that day.
Okay.
So I'm not giving a thumbs up because it's not a yes. It's a maybe, and this is just okay for me.
You got to catch her at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. For me, I'm going to give it a thumbs down on a retail score. I don't know how you could give it anything else.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
For whether I would buy it again or not, consumer score, honestly, having tried it now and having had such a unique experience with it, while the price is really pushing it, I think I might be a thumbs up. And it would be a bottle that I would share with specific people on certain occasions because it is a little bit unique with that Madeira cask finish.
Yeah.
Not that blind we knew that it was a Madeira cask finish,
right,
but there was more going on in there than what we're used to with a typical rye or a typical bourbon. It's a nice little twist. I'd probably pay a little bit more money for it. And that's saying something for me because I'm not necessarily a Willett Rye fan. I'm actually an anti-fan. But if you're not an anti-fan, if you're a fan of this channel, then be sure to check out the video description below for a link to our Patreon page. Over there, we do all kinds of stuff, including 2 additional bonus episodes every week that we call Uncuts. The bloopers are built in because there are no cuts, and you get to see all the stuff that you don't see here on the channel that gets trimmed out for time purposes. But we try to keep them tight, we try to keep them short, and we try to keep them really relaxed. Yep. And they're not always blind. Honestly, oftentimes they're not.
Yeah.
Usually we're just trying new bottles that we got in or samples that we've swapped with friends or so all kinds of stuff. We have fun over there with that. We also have a lot of fun over there with our patron-only live streams and our quarterly blind flight nights that we do where patrons get samples of blind flight and we get on a live stream together and we do that. And we have a database of our scores for our blind pours here on the channel, and our community element is over there as well.
Also, we've got some merch if you're interested. Josh is wearing a shirt.
Wearing a little bit of it.
Little bit of merch at stuffandwhiskey.com. Put the description, or we'll put the website in the description below. We've got sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, cups, all the things. So go check it out.
I think you designed this shirt specifically for me. Like, this is like the 90s me. I want this shirt.
Yeah.
In my mind, when you were originally telling me about it, I thought it was kind of like a fade down from a rocks glass that had some whiskey and ice in it. How it can go from kind of like lighter colors to darker as it gets deeper. But to me, this just reminds me of like Tool or 9 Inch Nails. It's almost like a band shirt, but it's got Stuff and Whiskey on it.
But not a band.
And I'm digging it. So I'm absolutely digging it. If you are too, like she said, check it out down there. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you're notified of our upcoming live streams that we do once a month here, our public live streams that we do on YouTube. You can get all that down in the description below as well.
Okay, so let's get into our main topic.
Let's do it.
What are we talking about?
Talking about what we've been drinking.
Oh, that's right.
What have we been drinking?
What have we been drinking?
So this is a good one this week, I feel like. So first up, you guys already know, and this is coming out in May. If you saw any of our March and April videos that had Rare Breed pop up in it, if you didn't, go watch them.
Yeah.
If you did, you already know. So we've been drinking some Rare Breed.
Yep.
this is a new bottle because we ran out of our old bottle. I think the last episode that we did that was either bottles we finished or what we've been drinking had a rare breed. This is going to be a recurring character on the channel because it's such a beloved product for us. So rare breed is absolutely in the fold for what we've been drinking. And while we're in the Wild Turkey family, let's go ahead and get into some Russell's Reserve Rye. As of the filming of this, we recently did a blind flight that had a couple of different ryes in it, bottled and bond ryes, including Redwood Empire's Rocket Top Rye, which is a like an annual or limited release product, and E.H. Taylor Straight Rye, which is like a $90 rye that goes for $180 or more in a lot of stores and secondary markets. And right over here, we have Russell's Reserve Single Barrel Rye. That was our control pour, our 5th pour for the flight. And we actually liked it better than all the other products in the flight. It's got all your typical rye flavors, your classic rye flavors, but there's a little bit of a brown sugar element in there that makes it more approachable for a bourbon drinker like me. And it's not so sweet that it's off-putting for a rye guy like Erin. Yeah, absolutely. So we love this product. And for $60-65, it's hard to beat. And for our next product that we've been drinking, this is going to be the one product that's kind of hard to find on our list. It's going to be Henry McKenna Bottled and Bond 10-year bourbon. This product holds a special place in our hearts. This is before all the hype, before it won any kind of awards or anything like that, which honestly we're not convinced it deserves, even though it's very nostalgic for us. We got a bottle of this at a recommendation from a store owner, and we tried it. We really liked it. It was early on in our dating lives, and we just sat around to the wee hours of the morning talking and sipping through the better part of a half a bottle of this. And it was a great night.
It was a great night, yeah.
So this is a very nostalgic pour for us. We just so happened to get a backup bottle of this. So we cracked open our new bottle, finished out our last bottle, and now we have one waiting in the wings. And so that's kind of our cycle with Henry McKenna, is that we have one that's low, one that's just opened, and then we have one in the background waiting. And we'll keep it that way for as long as we can. Not because it's exceptional whiskey, not because you need to pay $70 or $80 or $100 for it, simply because it was something that we had early on in our dating life. And
it's special to us.
Yeah. And if it goes away, will it be a bummer? Sure, to not be able to enjoy and relive those memories, but we're not paying over $60 for this ever, period.
No.
Not going to happen. So next up, and our last bottle for today is going to be 1792 Full Proof, but not any 1792 Full Proof. This is a store pick, and this is with our local store that we frequent. And unfortunately, you had to work, but we were both invited to go on a barrel pick, and I took the day off, went on a barrel pick with the store, and we have been clearly drinking this bottle. We only got it like a week ago. And we've been drinking this bottle, sampling it out to friends, letting other people try it. Barton is a profile that we both like a bit. You know, you're more the rye guy, like we said, but this for me is nicely fitting in my wheelhouse for what I like. And the Full Proof version of 1792 is so good. And if you get a good store pick like this that brings the proof, that brings the punch, this one is much more heavy on brown sugar and vanilla than the typical banana profile that you'll get, like the banana bread profile that you'll get on a typical Barton product. So been loving this. We have several of these. And if you're watching this video recently, as of when it releases around May the 10th, then on our upcoming public live stream, we're going to be giving a bottle of this away. So make sure to check the video description below to see when our next live stream is. It should be May the 22nd, I think.
Or around there.
Without checking the calendar. But we're giving a bottle of this away. We don't do barrel picks from Stuff and Whiskey yet. / maybe, who knows? We'll see. But if you want the closest thing to a Stuff and Whiskey barrel pick, this is going to be your best bet, and you can get in on it on our May live stream.
So I think that's it for today's topic.
This is what we've been drinking. This is what we've been reaching for.
So do we have other stuff to talk about?
We do have some other stuff.
All right.
So if you're tuning in and you're new to the channel, or if you're mainly in the YouTube sphere and you don't get out of the YouTube sphere for whiskey very much, then we're going to push you over to the podcast side of the equation. And we want you to check out This Is My Bourbon podcast. Perry Ritter over there does a fantastic job, and he's got Eric on board, the Whiskey Mutant Instagram. Is a whole thing. They make a great team, and it's just a fantastic, entertaining podcast. There's a lot of podcasts in the whiskey space, and I feel like This Is My Bourbon podcast does a really good job of being entertaining and informative, giving you good opinions.
That's key.
As everything, it's opinion based. All of this is like you could try all 4 of these and hate them. We're loving them, but you could hate them. But we try to tell you why, and over at This Is My Bourbon podcast, they do a really good job of telling you why. And they're always pairing whiskey. Now that the Whiskey Mutant's on board, they're always pairing whiskey with snacks, which is always entertaining. Because we like snacks.
Good.
Snacks are life.
We love snacks.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have a link to the podcast in the video description below, to iTunes, and then if you're on Google or whatever the Android marketplace is, you can check over there.
Well,
it's
and then
easy
there's
to find.
Spotify. There's tons of podcast players, so you could probably find them on anyone.
Absolutely. So anyways, let us know what you've been drinking in the comments below. What have you been finding yourself reaching for more often than not lately? We'd love to hear it. And more importantly, why? Tell us why it's been a pour that you've been reaching for. With that said, let's close it out for this week. We're going to call it a night. Till next week, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.